few hours earlier, at the clinic, Bangwol concocted a medicine to help temporarily increase strength. When they were done, the sisters decided to go camping. It's not often that they have time to enjoy themselves comfortably together. Bangwol is good at treating illnesses, but not good at cooking. Whenever she touches food, it makes everyone scream. The barbecue has the participation of the dragon god, Myrr. Bangwol intends to give her the magic medicine, but Myrr refuses and says, "Give it to Duanai." Seeing her teammates having fun, Myrr's heart feels vaguely anxious. The images in her dream, everyone sacrificing themselves, covered in injuries. Myrr doesn't dare to say it. She only knows to fear that one day it will come true. Returning to the present, the angel group is pushed to the brink by the villains. There are too many enemies and they've lost all their energy. There's no way out. Duanai has to drink the medicine that helps to temporarily increase strength. But the point is that after the time is up, the body has to endure physical pain. Regardless of the high price, Duanai gulps it all down. Duanai's face turned red like a tomato. Plus, he was spewing smoke everywhere, and he rushed in to punish the villains like a storm. On the other hand, the police officer Marok group situation is no less dangerous. They put all their strength into beating the cult group. Marok uses his magic staff to protect Jiamsun. The other members with profound martial arts skills deal with the bad guys. Somehow, these guys are tougher than leeches. As soon as they fall, they get up and continue fighting without any pain. At this rate, it is feared that the angel group will run out of strength. At the Oriental Medicine Clinic, the leader and his gang beat the two girls. Whenever anyone rushes up, Bangwol uses a bow to shoot them down. But there are too many enemies, and the two girls can't hold on. Samine uses magic to sneak attack, causing Bangwol to fall. Myrr uses divine power to save her friend, but it doesn't work, and soon the two of them are like fish on a cutting board. Samine uses magic to make Myrr faint. Obviously, their goal is to kidnap the dragon god. Back to Duanai's life or death battle. Thanks to the strength-enhancing medicine, he solos with his opponent on an equal footing. However, the medicine backfires and Duanai is enduring tormenting pain. Light Bulky immediately helps, knocks down the villain, and helps each other escape. The Marok group situation is getting worse. Jiamsun is weak and injured and is about to collapse. The members are successively beaten up by the cult group, with no strength to resist. How can an ordinary person beat a bunch of guys as tough as leeches who don't know what fatigue is? Just when the whole group doesn't know what to cling to, Boss Taesan appears from nowhere to rescue them. Taesan's strength should not be underestimated. Whoever Taesan hits will fall. In the blink of an eye, Taesan knocks out the entire team of villains. Jiamsun sees him, happily calls out once, and then faints. The scene switches to a gem museum. The cult group seems to have acquired the last spirit stone. The Black Crow Ogwi gets a headache and discovers that Myrr is being held captive. The angel group takes Jiamsun home to treat her. The wound on her hand is bleeding too much and is showing signs of infection. Everyone is stunned to see the house destroyed, and Bangwol lying unconscious on the floor. She recounts the events of the cult group coming to kidnap Myrr. Everyone now understands that they deliberately used misdirection, pretending to attack Jiamsun to distract the angel group and kidnap Myrr. Taesan angrily demands to fight them to the death. Police officer Marok advises, "Getting angry now won't solve anything. I hope everyone will calm down so that I can think of a comprehensive solution." The immediate task is to save Jiamsun's life. However, the toxicity of the demons is not easy to treat. The black marks have spread throughout her body, and it is feared that it is beyond saving. With ordinary medical skills, Bangwol also has to give up. Everyone proposes the idea of opening the gates of hell. This way, the angel group can regain its power and save Jiamsun's life. However, opening the gates of hell is an extremely risky thing that affects humanity. Taesan worries and stays by Jiamsun's side day and night. Bangwol uses many rare herbs to inject the patient, hoping to slow down the toxicity. Jiamsun's life is like an oil lamp flickering in the wind, not knowing when it will go out. The old woman's whole body is convulsing. She must be enduring tormenting pain. Police officer Marok resigns from his job and quietly drives away to an unknown location. Won-sung catches an uneasy feeling, so he decides to tell his teammates the truth. Over the past time, he has secretly followed and discovered the traces of the cult group's hideout. Seeing Marok not saying anything and driving away, he fears that it is a bad omen. Feeling that everything is out of control, Won-sung runs to report to his boss. Taesan remembers the words Marok once said, "Give me some time to handle the trouble." Marok is likely planning to do something dangerous on his own. On the other hand, Myrr has just regained consciousness and finds herself sealed in a cage. Samine used magic to make her faint. Afterwards, they put Myrr on the altar to perform the ritual of giving the 3 spirit stones to the dragon spirit. The Black Crow Ogwi's eyes turn red. He spreads his wings and uses magic to gather the power of the 3 stones. They form a mass merging with a huge source of power. At the same time, Samine stands on a small platform and bleeds into the water bowl, causing a black smoke to appear and cover the ceremony. They drain the life force of the dragon god, condensing it into a source of green energy. At that time, Marok had arrived at the tunnel with the barrier of darkness. He uses his staff to find the entrance to the villain's hideout. After a period of effort, Marok discovers a crack in the barrier. He places his hands on the wall, uses his internal energy, and finally opens the gate of darkness. Ogwi is overjoyed that the ritual is successful as expected. Now he only needs to swallow the power before him to become invincible. As Ogwi touches the ball, suddenly fragments of the past rush back. It seems that there is a connection between him and Myrr. Myrr promises to protect and save the demon. The headache strikes, causing Ogwi to lose consciousness. Seeing this, the leader Samine is annoyed, not understanding what is happening. Just then, Marok arrives to destroy the ceremony and save Myrr. The leader's face changes, and he quickly picks up the spirit stone and drains its power. He is not willing to let his efforts over the years go to waste. After draining the energy, his complexion improves significantly. He must be about 10 years younger. Samine aggressively picks up the sword, intending to chop Marok into 100 pieces. Marok has a staff to protect himself, so he is not easy to defeat. He asks the opponent, why was the gate of hell sealed thousands of years ago, and he can still survive until now? Samine sneers that Marok is an ordinary human and does not deserve to know the answer. I am an ordinary person, but I was chosen by God to manage the angels. So whoever is messing around and planning to do something wrong, Marok will use his staff to burn them to ashes. The gang is not afraid of death and plans to use their numbers to overwhelm him, in a style of not respecting their elders. With that, Marok uses his staff to show off his power and introduce his treasure. It has 3 unparalleled functions. First, it makes the bodies of the ragtag demons disappear. Second, it allows me to disperse and unleash the maximum power into many bodies. As for the third thing, I'll let you rack your brains and think about it on your way to the underworld. Marok teases the cult group and then casts a spell, the bodies attacking like a storm. Samine's expression is calm as observes his gang being destroyed one by Marok. Just when it seemed that Marok was sure to win this game, at the last minute, Samine pulls out his sword and flies towards his prey. It turns out that he has been standing and observing to find the original and then stab the opponent with a fatal blow. Now, even God will not be able to save Marok. The stone on Samine's body glows, indicating that he has awakened Hate's soul. Samine reveals that for thousands of years, he has been praying for the gates of hell to reopen. Ogwi wakes up and looks at Myrr with affection. He remembers the memory of how the girl tried to save the demon. Myrr sobs uncontrollably in despair. Suddenly, Tae-san appears, demanding to eliminate Ogwi. He has destroyed the world and opposed God, so he must bear the consequences. Myrr begs her boss to spare his life, even using her body to protect the demon. Tae-san throws his teammate away, intending to finish off Ogwi. Suddenly, Marok intervenes and erases Myrr's memories of the demon. He tells Tae-san to take Myrr back home, and he will take care of the rest. After all, Ogwi once had a time of living peacefully with the angel group. Therefore, Marok intends to have mercy and give him a favor, which is to erase all memories of Myrr in the demon's mind. Ogwi will be locked in hell forever, in a state of not being dead or alive. With that, Marok swings his staff, sealing Ogwi in the cave. The Black Crow's body is stuck to the rock, and it will be difficult to excavate for thousands of years. Now that Ogwi has regained all his memories, what will he decide to do? Confront the angels or turn back? Thousands of years ago, demons ran rampant throughout the human world. At first, they only dared to appear at night, but now they dare to wreak havoc in broad daylight. That day, Myrr and Kangji went into the forest to hunt down demons. August is also present in that forest. He has eyes that can see hundreds of miles away without moving. It seems that there is something extremely dangerous hidden in this gloomy forest. It accumulates into a black smoke, hiding and camouflaging itself deep in the forest. After a while of chasing and not catching the demons, the 2 girls plan to return home, but Myrr wants to stay and wait for her lover, Ogwi. Kangji advises her sister not to be blinded by that emotion. If the boss knows about it, she might be punished. This will be the last time Kangji covers up the secret meetings of the lovers. Myrr is sad about her twisted love affair. Back in modern times, Tae-san and Won-sung are on their way to find Marok. Tae-san is very worried about the safety of his senior. Marok is the only one whose power has not been sealed, so he is always trying to protect the angel family. At the cult's hideout, Marok is fighting a life-or-death battle with the cult group. He uses his staff to divide his body into multiple copies in order to destroy the opponents. Marok smiles triumphantly, confident every time he defeats someone. Samine stands in one place, observing in order to find the weakness of the original. Sure enough, he discovers the real one. He tenses up and resists. Samine quickly flies over and stabs Maro with a fatal blow. Just then, Ogwi wakes up from his dream, escaping from his past subconscious. He looks at Myrr with loving eyes. Then, Ogwi spreads his wings and deals with the traitor. While I was unconscious, you dared to steal the 3 spirit stones. Maro squirms, intending to take the staff, but is kicked away 3 meters by the demon. Ogwi chooses to eliminate his traitorous allies first. The 2 sides rush at each other. Obviously, the leader is no match for the 1,000-year demon. Even though he has 3 stones to protect himself, he is still defeated miserably at the hands of Ogwi. At the last minute, Samine plays dirty and throws a dagger at the opponent, but misses. Ogwi is enraged and spreads his wings, whipping Samine. Maro gets up and crawls to see how his teammates are doing. Ogwi flies over to stop him and attacks Maro. He says that all the sealed memories have been recalled, and the feeling of being locked in the darkness for thousands of years is extremely uncomfortable. Ogwi angrily asks why Maro sealed him back then. Maro smiles and says that it was God's will. The 2 sides hadn't been talking long when suddenly Samine revived and attacked. He is as durable as a leech thanks to the power of the Spirit Stone. A cloud of poison surrounds the Black Crow, but fortunately, Ogwi manages to defend himself by spreading his wings. Feeling that something is wrong, Ogwi immediately runs away from Samine's territory. Poor Maro lies dying, covered in injuries. The leader summons the cult army to leave the hideout and prepare to attack humanity. On the other hand, Jiamsun's condition is getting worse. The black marks have spread all over her face, and it is feared that she does not have much time left to live. The 2 brothers, Tae-san, have been driving for a long time but have not arrived, and their hearts are burning with anxiety. Maro uses his last breath to call and inform the group of everything. The name of Samine is about to call up the strength of Hate and can control human beings. The Black Crow of Ogwi then has to bring up the strength of Hate to find the strength of Tae. At all costs to find Myrr, if the soul of the dragon is in her, also to find the source of Tae, also to find the origin of those 2. Then we will have to open the gates of hell to take back the strength of all the ghosts that come. It may be that we will have to find those 2 in them. If a world has no human beings, then the angels must take back their strength to protect the world. We'll have to open the gates of hell to save the humans. With a human world would only be hell, Maro for them, he said, would not be in the company. Continue to protect their lives, saying a few words before taking his last breath. Tae-san and Won-sung are anxious, immediately stepping on the gas and rushing through the forest all night, trying to get to the tunnel. They ran hastily to the barrier and looked for Maro. But when they arrived, he had stopped breathing, and his whole body was cold. Maro died without closing his eyes. They took their senior home to organize the funeral, and everyone cried sadly to say goodbye to Maro. They had been together for thousands of years and had to endure the separation. Maro and the staff quickly turned to ashes and flew back to God. Those who remained had to continue to shoulder the unfinished task. Tae-san is heartbroken to lose a brother who has been through life and death with him, and he quietly sits by Jiamsun's bedside, his heart in a mess. Tae-san vaguely sinks into a hallucination and converses with his senior. Maro says that this world is becoming more and more beautiful, and there is no denying the contribution of human beings, and that God created angels to protect human beings, which is like a fate that cannot be changed. He advises Tae-san not to resent humans and forget his responsibilities because of the death of his teammates. Tae-san frowns, but seems to have untied the knot in his heart for a long time. The gang is like a snake without a head after Maro's death. They are dejected and don't know what to do next. After a period of deliberation, Boss Tae-san carries the divine hammer to do something important. He decides to go down to the secret chamber and break the gates of hell. The land where the building they live in is built is also the place where the gates of hell are sealed. The gang is eavesdropping, knowing that sooner or later this would happen. Tae-san hits it several times to the point where his hands are bleeding before he can break a little crack. The crack gradually widens and reveals the gates of hell, and a halo shines everywhere, carrying the power of the angel group. As the power of each zodiac sign enters the corresponding body, each person possesses their own weapon. Holding it in his hand, the leader Tae-san announces, "Now the power of the angels has returned." They broke the gates of hell, which means that the demons have been released. We only have one day to protect humanity, take the demons back to hell, and more importantly, find Myrr and destroy Samine and the Black Crow. With that, a cloud of black smoke covers the sky, signaling that demons are invading Earth. The news reports on the strange weather phenomenon, saying that it is daytime but the sky has turned pitch black for unknown reasons. In addition, a lot of fine dust is falling from the sky, and the government advises people to stay indoors to ensure safety. On the street, traffic is congested due to a group of people in black blocking the road. This is none other than the leader Samine. The moment he has been waiting for has arrived. The curious crowd, some report to the police, others pull out their phones to film and take pictures, not knowing the danger of what is standing in front of them. Samine doesn't let them wait long and immediately uses the power of the 3 spirit stones to control people. Everyone who is possessed by the black energy immediately turns into a mobile puppet. Everyone's eyes turn black and lifeless, and the number quickly increases from hundreds to thousands to millions. Wherever the black energy flies, it enters the human body. Humanity is plunged into darkness, and no one escapes the control. They unconsciously walk down the street following the call of the leader. At the same time, Bangwol is trying to treat the poison for Jiamsoon. She uses her divine power to prevent the black marks from spreading. Fortunately, the toxins gradually disappear, and the old woman's health gradually recovers. Elsewhere, Ogwi flies hundreds of miles with Myrr in his arms. Finally, his wings get tired, and he has to land on the ground to rest. Since the demon reappeared, the sky has been gray and gloomy. The angel group prepares itself and sets out for a decisive battle. Thousands of years ago, they faced the exact same situation. Demons ran rampant everywhere, plunging humanity into misery. The angels fought bravely day and night without fatigue. Each person has a different specialty and magical weapon, but the common point is that they are all very powerful. Tae-san is the strongest leader, and wherever he throws his iron fist, the villains are defeated. At the last minute, Tae-san can't bring himself to kill Haetae. After all, he used to be close and called Tae-san boss. He intends to spare his life, but Maro doesn't agree. Haetae has turned into a demon and needs to be eliminated according to God's will. With that, Maro uses his staff to drain all of Haetae's energy somehow. It is incredibly powerful and breaks through Maro's seal. Haetae is even strong enough to slam his opponent to the ground. He frantically attacks the members of the angel group. They try to resist, but then lie still. Tae-san is so angry that he can't tolerate it anymore. He steps forward and throws a flaming punch, intending to finish Haetae. He doesn't fight back, just looks at his boss painfully, and then gradually turns to ashes. After sending all the demons away, the angel group voluntarily offers its power to seal the gates of hell. This place imprisons demons and also locks up the power of the gods. God always knows how to create everything in balance and pay the price that is deserved. Ogwi remembers when he and Myrr were by the waterfall, and the two fell deeply in love. Even though it was taboo, they looked at each other passionately and then shared a kiss by the waterfall. The feeling, while forbidden, was pure and innocent, and Ogwi always gently pampered Myrr. He held her hand tightly on every journey, and even when he was tired and fell asleep, Myrr couldn't bear to wake him up. Ogwi sometimes feels insecure because his identity is different. He worries about all the demons and the distance between him and an angel like Myrr. In his heart is a feeling of helplessness when he has to let her protect him. Ogwi wanted to change, so he prayed to God to grant him power like Myrr. But Myrr just softly said, "It's useless, and I don't want Ogwi to change. I like you as you are." However, in love, every man wants to be a support. Ogwi still longs to be able to protect Myrr. He also knows that Kong Ji has discovered that Myrr is secretly meeting him, so he tries to find a way for them to be together, without being forbidden anymore. In the past, Samine ordered his subordinates to separate the angel group, and then the darkness entered straight into him. Samine's eyes turned completely white, and the world changed more and more, and Ogwi still prays to God, but all that responds to him is silence. He collapses to the ground in helplessness. Samine, with the eyes of a victor, steps forward. He mocks Ogwi for foolishly asking God, and then hisses that the only way for Ogwi to be with Myrr is to have power greater than even the angel. He declares himself the god of darkness, pouring blood into Ogwi, and then his heart turns black. His eyes turn red mixed with black, bringing an evil aura. Back to the past, Ogwi once argued with Samine about taking Myrr's soul. He is angry that Samine dares to call it we. Ogwi threatens, he shouldn't rely on the power of darkness and act recklessly. From now on, he can only silently follow in my footsteps. Samine is frustrated but dares not resist. He silently follows. Suddenly, Ogwi meets Kong Ji. She painfully questions, "Why did you betray the angel group?" And Ogwi only coldly replies, "That I'm tired of being trapped in the fence that God built." Kong Ji asks where Myrr is, but he doesn't say. At that time, Samine incites Ogwi to kill Kong Ji, but he only receives a death glare. Kong Ji tries to persuade Ogwi to return because she believes Tae-san can help him, but Ogwi no longer believes that God will listen to his prayers. Kong Ji takes out her weapon and begs Ogwi one last time for Myrr, but she is held to the neck with a knife as a cold warning. After that, Myrr runs madly looking for Ogwi in pain. Kong Ji worries that she will be in danger, so she chases after her, but passes out from exhaustion. Myrr can't believe that Ogwi would foolishly act like that. She cries uncontrollably by the river because of the love that is full of distance. Ogwi wakes up in reality. He sees Myrr passed out in his arms and quickly sits up. He looks at Myrr and then looks outside with heavy eyes. Ogwi slowly walks to the hollow in the rock where he was once imprisoned. Suddenly, a light appears. It is the soul of Myrr that has returned to her body. Then, Myrr wakes up and sees that Ogwi is still there. The two lovers finally meet again. Myrr stammers, "Why did you come back here?" Ogwi confesses, "I've restored my memory, but only memories of this place." Myrr says, "I'll call the boss and leave because avoiding it won't be better in the future." But in that way, Ogwi will be imprisoned again. Myrr blames him for betraying everyone that day. Ogwi also has his own feelings, but it's useless to explain now. When Myrr leaves, his body aches, writhing in loneliness. The angel group sees the dark gates of hell open, so they decide to leave. Meanwhile, the police have arrived, but they are shocked when they realize that the transformed people are not afraid of guns. The police have no idea how to handle it. A child is almost attacked by a zombie, but fortunately, an old man rushes in and saves them. Jiamsoon finally wakes up. She knows that Tae-san is struggling to protect humanity. The angel group gets into the car and leaves that place. On the road, they see people running frantically everywhere. Tae-san immediately suggests stopping at a section near the train station. Kong-ji uses her power to sense a strange smell and guides Tae-san. Bang-wol tries her best to treat an injured person, causing him to recover. In that way, Kong-ji has a basis to announce that there is no need to attack humans, because Bang-wol can save them again. Then the group divides and acts. Kong-ji leads Tae-san deeper into where she senses the unusual smell. However, some guards block them from entering. Suddenly, a group of people runs out in chaos. Then, a soldier with black eyes from Samine appears. Tae-san doesn't hesitate and throws a palm strike that sends him flying straight into the wall. In a room, a couple is drinking wine and chatting, when the noise from outside immediately pours in. Two bodyguards rush out to punch and kick in order to clear the way for their boss. But the one who appears is a black-eyed soldier from Samine, so in the blink of an eye, they are defeated, causing them to run away in disarray. Seeing this, Kong-ji throws a punch and takes down one on the table. When Tae-san arrives just in time, he meets two black-eyed soldiers. He rushes straight into battle, fighting two against one. However, being an angel, they are nothing to him. In the end, Tae-san and Kong-ji clean everything up. Meanwhile, Myrr tries to make calls everywhere using a payphone, but can't get through to anyone. Then, Samine suddenly appears, seeking her out. He throws a dark energy palm strike straight at Myrr's face. She manages to counterattack, blasting away the surrounding soldiers with her power. Samine sees that his subordinates' fighting skills are too pathetic, so he personally steps in to solo with Myrr. He unleashes a pitch-black energy ball. Myrr immediately erects a protective barrier. But how can her power rival Samine's? Just one blow sends her flying far away. In the end, Myrr faints and is captured by Samine. Kong-ji follows the necklace to lead everyone to find Myrr, when suddenly Ogwi flies in and blocks the car. He says that Samine has taken Myrr to take her power, so he asks everyone to give him more time to recover, and then he will take care of the rest. Meanwhile, Samine has gone straight into Tae-san's secret chamber to access the gates of hell. They carry Myrr and place her on a stone slab. Samine uses his power to open a mechanism that causes the door to collapse. Then he gently pulls out Myrr's soul and puts it straight into his body. Quickly, he absorbs all the power in that soul and feels himself stronger than ever. The angel group returns to their building, when they are immediately blocked by Samine's soldiers. At the same time, Samine successfully destroys a zodiac statue. Ogwi is still standing on the rooftop, looking towards the gates of hell. Suddenly, the four angels who disappeared in the past are summoned and awakened. However, because they are controlled by Samine, their eyes have turned black. The angel group is forced to hold them back so that Tae-san can go to stop Samine. They transform into their weapons and fight. Meanwhile, Tae-san single-handedly takes on the entire horde of subordinates. One-sung quickly arrives to help him clean up a crowd. With the power of the tiger, Tae-san easily crushes his opponents. And One-sung, with the agility of a monkey, is not afraid either. The two cleared the soldiers to continue entering and finding Samine. Outside, almost all the people have turned into rotten zombies. Among the angel group, they are struggling to resist their four former teammates. Clearly, they are only fighting to hold them off, not daring to eliminate the brothers who have fallen. Samine senses that someone has broken in, so he immediately sends his subordinates to check. But as soon as they enter, they are taken care of by Tae-san in the darkness. The fire bursts on his hand, illuminating the dark basement. Tae-san only throws 2 punches and knocks out both of them. Samine is still arrogant, confident that he is now stronger than anyone. Tae-san doesn't waste words, just rushes forward and throws a straight punch as an answer. Samine immediately shouts and calls out 4 other guys to surround Tae-san. Legend has it that the god of light awakened the 12 zodiacs and entrusted them with a mission. That all 12 of them were the successors to the will of light to protect peace. However, their appearance alerted the god of darkness to that power, and he began to spread darkness through his loyal followers. Each wave of ashes of darkness gradually spread, causing the earth to run out of life. When humans were infected with the body, they became withered and rotten. But the angels had no choice but to fight hard day after day to protect humanity. However, some angels have fallen in that process. One day, the god of darkness used Ogwi and Samine to corrupt Haetae, who used to follow the 12 angels. He transformed Haetae into a demon and used Haetae's power to counterattack the angels themselves. In that battle, 4 people fell under his hands. Tae-san, in a fit of rage, finally punished Haetae and sealed all his power into the gates of hell, including good and evil. After a long time, Samine seemed to have disappeared, but now he is rising again. Once again, the gates of hell are opened, and humanity begins to fall into a state of becoming rotten zombies. Because Tae-san is surrounded by Samine's subordinates, he is forced to fight alone against them. Unfortunately, they are too numerous, and they use weapons to attack relentlessly, causing him to fall to the ground after many hits. Kong-ji also falls into a difficult situation when facing her former controlled teammates, causing her to be disoriented. Fortunately, Won-sung manages to save her because she almost collapses. Mao-suk's fighting power is much better, constantly hitting her former teammates, but not killing them, only pushing them into the closet. Bangwol, with her bow in hand, has also aimed straight at her teammates, but she can't bear to shoot and lets them escape. Meanwhile, Tae-san gathers all the power of the tiger and throws fiery punches to wipe out the soldiers, dealing a death blow to each one with just his hands. Outside, the horde of zombies is still marching and coming without stopping. Kong-ji is beaten up by her old friend, and Won-sung runs away for his life because weapons are close behind. Everyone on the lower floors is struggling and is quite tired. As for Tae-san, he must now solo with Samine. He holds a knife and keeps slashing. Tae-san manages to resist, but still gets hit in the hand, then another hit in the stomach, causing him to fall, losing the fire in his hand. Red blood spreads on his stomach. The situation gets even more tense when the stream of zombies continues to pour into the building. Inside, Ogwi holds back his former comrades, as their powers are similar. Finally, Ogwi flies in to take action. Just as Samine approaches Myrr, he appears, taking down 2 of his soldiers, and then rushing straight into a solo face-off. But Samine has now absorbed the Soul Stone and the power of Haetae, along with the dragon spirit in his body, so he arrogantly overwhelms Ogwi. Angered, Ogwi erupts fiercely and continues to rush at Samine. Samine knows that Ogwi's driving force in life is Myrr, so he wants to finish him off right away, because now hell has no place for him either. He throws a powerful palm strike, causing Ogwi to fall and be unable to get up. Mao-suk, being the toughest, has successfully defeated the Angel Joe, causing him to pass out. Kong-ji, in coordination with Won-sung, also works together to knock out another person. Bangwol, who is in a dangerous situation, is fortunate enough to have Kong-ji rush to support her. Even unarmed, she throws a kick straight into the last angel and defeats him. Outside, the horde of zombies has moved to the door of the building. Tae-san, inside, suddenly rushes out to block a blow from Myrr, but that is not enough and causes him to be seriously injured. Samine fires another dark energy that implants into Tae-san, causing him to be in so much pain that he can't stand it. Just then, Myrr wakes up. Samine is about to swing his knife and slash Tae-san when Ogwi uses his body to shield him, right in front of Myrr. He is stabbed through the chest by Samine. Samine also ruthlessly breaks his wings, causing Ogwi extreme pain. Before falling, Ogwi calls Myrr's name, and then sacrifices himself in her tears. Therefore, Tae-san angrily gets up and uses his power to solo with Samine. The good and the evil confront each other, with uncertain results, but Tae-san, for the sake of justice, throws palm strikes repeatedly, causing Samine to step back. He craves more than ever to send him to hell. Tae-san throws all his blue spirit to kill Samine, causing him to crawl on the ground. Samine begins to use his dark power. Then, on one side of the battle line, the controlled angel finally causes pain for the group. Won-sung takes a powerful blow, but fortunately, Bangwol manages to use her healing power to give him quick first aid. Kong-ji uses all her strength from her belly to throw a palm strike and support Bangwol. Then Won-sung puts all his strength into his final strike to make Han completely collapse. Finally, Myrr's dragon soul has returned to her. Thanks to that, Myrr can wake up and sit up. She painfully rushes to Ogwi's corpse and cries uncontrollably. No matter what, In Myrr's heart, there is still a lot of love for Ogwi. She remembers the words he used to say, and her heart is broken. Myrr cannot accept this departure. The remaining angels have arrived, too. They see Myrr crying painfully, so they quietly stand still to let her release all the pain in her heart. Then, everyone gathers around the gates of hell. The souls of the angels are returned and integrated into it. At the same time, the gates close. The world gradually regains its life and light. Humans return to normal, no longer the hideous zombies. Finally, Jiam-soon smiles with relief, believing that Tae-san has successfully protected her. Surprisingly, the 4 angels who were revived do not disappear this time. Everyone is overjoyed and hugs each other after so many years of separation. For them, this is like a long dream, and the memory of their brothers has not faded. Myrr runs over and sees everyone laughing and happy, so she also starts to laugh through her tears. And Tae-san is the happiest person when his 4 brothers return. From then on, Seoul became peaceful again. At the clinic, Tae-san is happy to watch the news about leaving a box of money for the orphanage. Kong-ji finally enjoys running along the beach with Malsuk. Doni still has her old habit of waiting for the shop to open to go eat. Seeing that there is delicious food today, she calls Han to go with her. Han rushes over with a cotton candy in his hand, and also asks Kong-ji for some money to experience the world for himself. He grumbles, forced to call Kong-ji Sr. in order to be allowed to go eat. Doni excitedly teaches his senior how to learn about the modern world. That's right, because they are like they just woke up after 1,000 years of hibernation. They don't even know how to use a mobile phone, and keep licking it. Doni has to demonstrate by calling Jiam-soon, making him angry because he is studying hard to take the police exam. He realizes that he is not suitable to become the boss, but should rather follow in Marok's footsteps and become a police officer. And Kong-ji takes the 2 older sisters shopping. The 2 older sisters are eager to learn how to wear modern clothes and laugh non-stop. That morning, Tae-san strolls down the street and stops by a phone store. He boldly experiences the latest model and buys 12 of them, because he has a lot of kids at home. So the whole group receives a message inviting them to the party at Jiam-soon's new restaurant. During that time, Myrr has just finished discussing a plan with her partner, when she suddenly hears the sound of a crow calling, which catches her attention. Upon receiving the group party message, she smiles slightly. Everyone arrives and teases Bangwol together. That evening, the whole group gathered to eat happily. The party is even more delicious because Jiam-soon cooked it herself, and her family and grandchildren also come to join the fun. Tae-san finally gets to hold his little grandson, whom he cherishes like a treasure. One day, Myrr quietly walks to the place where Ogwi was once sealed. Suddenly, something appears behind her. At the same time, Tae-san is removing the sign from the building when he suddenly senses something bad. The scenery in the building becomes desolate. On the stairs leading down to the secret chamber, the necklace lights up again, and the person lying on the stone slab this time is Ogwi, with a red heart burning brightly. The film ends here. Thanks for watching.